Hello everybody, my name is Chris Unlimited and welcome to this tutorial on how to use billboards in Little Big Workshop. Okay, so I am fairly new to this game and I started playing it yesterday and I played it for a few hours and I am stuck on this research tab because I need to get all of the bronze milestones set done. And in order to do that, one of the things is execute a plan with a billboard linked to it. So, I got these unlocked from the tier tree. So as long as you've got that, first of all, that's going to be the first thing that you want to make sure that you get from the research and development. You hit that. Okay, that will give you the option to buy a billboard. Now, here's the problem. When you get this billboard, it's not clear on how you use it. I spent many hours trying to do this. Couldn't figure out how to do it. I went online, looked at a couple YouTube videos, which, they had billboard use in the title, but they were just like 7 tips to do this or beginner tips to do this. And they would say, you need a billboard to do this, but they wouldn't actually show how to use it. So we're going to get into the game mechanics of how this billboard is actually used. Okay, so by digging through a couple of forums and whatnot, I have pieced together how to use this. I'm not going to say that my layout right here is the most efficient or what have you. I just started this game. I've just started expanding, as you can see right here, and obviously stuff is not where I wanted. I did figure out the storage mat thing, but this is also a problem when you're using the billboards, because if you have something like this right here, this is very efficient. When raw material comes in, it gets turned into like, let's say, boards. The boards go here instead of having to be walked all the way back out here and then brought in for something else to assemble. But when you use a billboard, you can't tie a billboard to machinery that this uses. Okay, so first of all, that makes no sense to me, and that's something in the mechanics of the game should be able to overcome, because this billboard is basically an easier way to tell two similar machines how to do a job. So like right now, and we'll get into it, but if I do that and I tell like these two machines, which are my metal benders, I want them to be doing nothing but bending this metal for a bracket. Okay, this is an example. Okay, so I want them to do nothing but that. I want them to get the metal though from this shelf, from these two smelters. But I can't do that because if I line these two up with this billboard, it breaks this chain for where they get the supplies. So that means these guys, they're going to take the raw material, they'll get it from here because this is lined up. They'll put it in here, melt it, and then they got to walk it all the way, wherever your storage is. And it's silly. And the only option I can see around this is to put just a common like storage unit. We'll just use this as an example. Just right here, just to make it more efficient. But you shouldn't have to do that. It's dumb. You should be able to overlap, because this is actually more of a planning phase thing, whereas this is where do you want the parts to go. Either that or they should let you direct, like when the stuff from here, I want it to go to this shelf, but they don't. Now billboards, you would think that they're like a big board and you can put a multiple plan. This was my problem. I wanted to put, like, let's say the shelves, I wanted that to be one project. So I would try to put in the machines and just tell it, okay, do this. It doesn't work that way. A billboard does one type of machine. Okay, so the game kind of glitched out on me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just build these shelves, which right now there's not a big demand, but we're going to go ahead and do some anyway, okay? So normally what you would do is you go through here and try to set up your, okay, you pick your raw material, which we'll pick the cheapest stuff we can because the game doesn't give you any kind of bonus. And so for like this step, We're gonna pick that one, okay? And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna tie this in here. Let me pause so I'm not losing money. We're gonna set this plan, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these two metal benders. As you can see, it messed up my storage. So we're gonna put that right there because when you link this up, it loses the ability to link with this. And it shouldn't, because this is more, I mean, this is more like planning and building. This is more like storage. I don't understand why they can't coexist. So we've got our storage down, and we've got one thing going to here. What I want to do here, just to give you an idea, these two metal working stations, I'm going to link them. So we're going to take this, and we're going to link this and this. And you'll notice right away, the two arrows that were coming from this are now gone, and only these two are there. So these two are now linked, and you can only link, notice everything else is grayed out. You can only link stations that are the same. Okay, so now we have these two stations. They're linked to this billboard. What that means is in the planning stage, when I come in here and I say, yes, let's plan the project. So we've got this going to this smelter. Then it turns into a rod. Then we want to take those rods and we want to bend them. But instead of going to one of these and having to split it later, I can select this, and what it will do is it's going to break up the work between the two so that I don't have to go in and move it in between the two, because that's the only thing we're building right now. I want it to be evenly distributed in between those two machines. Okay, so we've got that set, and then we go down the line. Then we need to assemble it. Now, I have two assemblers here that, in this particular case, I could go get another billboard and link them up, but the shelf itself is a two-step process. You have to build the bracket. You have to, you have to assemble, because these are assemblers. You have to assemble the bracket, and then you have to assemble the shelf. In this particular build instance, it wouldn't be a great idea to do that, because I want one assembling the bracket. And then I want one, when it comes down to this time, assembling the shelf. Because what I have done accidentally playing this game is I just threw it all in one machine. Well, it'll build brackets and then a shelf and then brackets and a shelf, but it doesn't always break it up that way. So sometimes you're left trying to build a shelf and you're missing a bracket. So it stops and it says, whoa, warning, there's something wrong with this. Then you have to sit there and juggle all the stuff inside of it, and that's not what we want to do. So in this instance, in my head, and of course this is the only machine I have for that. Okay, so in this instance, in my head, the assembly product, we want one assembler to be doing the brackets, and then we want a second assembler doing the shelves. That way they can keep building brackets and then building shelves. Now it takes two brackets to make a shelf. It takes two pieces to make a bracket. Okay, so we're gonna plan the product, okay? We got the ore, we got this going here. We got the bender. We're gonna send that to the billboard. We got the assembler. These are gonna assemble those. These are set to this machine. Okay, and then this other assembler, we're gonna send here. So I'm going to build, yeah, we're not gonna build that many. I'm gonna build 5. So I'm gonna execute this for 5. Okay. Now, in here, normally if I had a big, and we're talking big batches. So this is a small batch, but I'm just using it as an example. So this machine right here is doing nothing, while this machine is trying to run 5 of these. And then these two machines, they're split. So they have 2 orders, see? They're both going to be doing one. They have that order of 4 brackets, or I remember like 8 bended rods. It's split between the 2 evenly. That's what this does. So instead of having to do what I'm about to do here, okay, I'm going to have to split this and then okay it. And then I got to transfer it to this machine. So instead of having to do that for every single piece, because I want, the reason why I have 2 smelters and 2 metal benders is because this is so slow that you need to be them both working in tandem at the same time. So that's why we need this. So instead of having to do that whole process, what we could have done, I'm going to go ahead and let this play out. Okay. So they're going to be building that while we work here. Let me pause this for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up another order of this. We have to do one thing first. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to basic and I'm going to get another billboard. Okay, and you can put them by each other. I've read a few or saw a few online videos and tips and tricks and whatever. They said to put all your billboards in one area. That way when when your plant gets bigger, instead of having to jump to each section, you can go to one room and do it. But that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because when you're in here, I think you want to be by the machines you're with. So I don't know 100% if that's actually useful. But for right now, I'm just showing you how to use it, how to step-by-step use it. You can figure out what's more efficient for you. Okay, so we're going to head and order this. We'll get it put in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up these smelters to work with this one. That way, my next order will be set to do what it's supposed to do. And of course, they're building other things as they go by as well. Oh, and if you haven't done it and you're still new, these green dudes, these are haulers. They're great for keeping your workers actually working, because they move around product all the time. And that way your paint guys don't have to do it. Okay, so we take this, and we're going to link up these two no. Okay, sorry, I didn't hit shift. Okay, we've now linked up those 2 machines. And you'll notice that this is no longer providing stuff for these 2 machines. So honestly, if you're going to use billboards to automate like this kind of process, I don't know how handy telling this specific machines is going to be, because as you can see, it can't work with it. It can't double up like that. It can't do it at all. Now I'm sure if I got another billboard, and if I need, well, I wouldn't be able to mix those together. So we've got this one working these 2 smelters, this one working these 2 metal benders, and then this one building the bracket, this one building the shelf. So when I do a new order of, let's say, this shelf, I'm going to plan 5. And this time, instead of going to one or the other, I'm going to tell it, use that for the smelters, use this for those, same process, use this to build, use this machine to make the wood part, and then assemble it here. And I'm going to execute that. Now you see I have 2 shelf orders here as well. Okay. So I can tell this, now we'll have, see, we have 2 orders there coming in. We got total of how many? 5? No, a total of 3 left on there. 4 left on there. We've got 2 orders here of 1 and 1 order here of 1. So when I hit go, that will split that order up. Now we can prioritize things, but that's different. That's another story. And of course I'm running out of money because I'm just trying to get everything delivered and whatnot. I just expanded, so just ignore that. But anyway, that is a step-by-step on how you actually get these billboards to use. But yeah, I was very disappointed in like the tutorial on how to use those, because it made no sense. And there was really nothing showing me how to do it. I mean, you click on it, and at the time when I first started trying to use these, I didn't have 2 of one machine. So it made 0 sense on how I'd link up a chain. And that's the big problem. If they only work with the same machine, and it's only so you can automate certain things like this. But anyway, I hope this video helps anybody who is struggling with that, anybody who needed a little, just a little nudge into the right direction. I mean, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me when I was doing it, but now that I've kind of went through a couple tutorials and read some things online, it started clicking and making sense. I'm still not happy. Honestly, I would rather just divvy it up myself, which is a lot of time, as if it meant that I can keep my storage here. Because the raw material came in, got worked, and then once that happened, it would sort it and just keep it right here to where they didn't have to keep walking out the other room. But I'm sure if you're creative enough, you can find a storage solution that will work for you. But anyway, that's my tutorial on how to use a billboard. I hope it was helpful. I hope you get a lot of use out of it. If I am mistaken in how I'm using this, or if you have any suggestions on how to make this better, I mean, I know this isn't the most efficient. I know that. I'm just starting out, but I'm trying to teach the mechanics, because if I'm looking online and I can't find it, I know there's a need for it and there's a problem. But I'm just teaching this the basic, just what I found out in order to get the machine to up and work. So let me know in the comments down below any suggestions you have, or if you liked the video, if I was clear enough. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm usually answer them pretty quickly, but I just want to thank you guys for checking this video out. I hope it helps you, and I will see you guys later. Hey everybody, Chris Unlimited here. I'm just hanging out here at the end of the video, just pointing out and reminding you that I do have other videos on my channel. Up here should be the newest one I did, and down here somewhere there's going to be probably the most popular or most recommended or best for you, basically. And then somewhere in the middle should be a little subscribe box. Hit that if you enjoyed the content. I do stream every day, or have been doing for the most part most days. I stream all kinds of games, including the one you just watched. So check them out. Say hi to me in chat. Come hang out. I've got a pretty good group of people that are all right people. They're really good. But yeah, just a reminder, subscribe if you want. Do what you got to do. But I hope to see you in future comments and in future live streams. See ya.